Hello, it's that time again for Advent of Code 2023. Last year, what did I do? Let me move myself slightly better positioned. Very shabby video work by me, as will be a theme throughout this, I imagine. Last year, I was my first year of completing every challenge. Although I did not record, I think from the 20th to the 25th, I did not record. It was getting harder to record things along with everything else that's going on. And on Christmas Day, I became very ill for about 24 hours for no reason. And so, anyway, I was far beyond recording at that point. Um, but this year, I'm going to try and record all 25. I think it's I suspect not that many people watch these, but they are interesting to me as a way to place focus on the way that I'm attacking these challenges. And then I learned a lot last year about how to do these challenges well. And so I imagine I may learn as much this year as well. I put some special rules on myself because I don't want to spend all month fiddling around with nonsense, which is my tendency. So I have a few extra rules. I code on the clock and I aim to complete each step, 2 steps per day in 30 minutes and give myself a platinum if I get it under 15 minutes. And then, you can see the rest. But I can plan, research, and diagram as much as I like before I start each part. So it's only the coding that is time limited. The planning is fine. You can see here as the month went on, I got through possibly the first 10 days in gold level, and then it started to deteriorate. We will see what happens this year. Possibly something very similar, but I hope to get a little further in before I start to get into the lead zone. Anyway, I've also spent a bit of time just refamiliarizing myself with my tools that I developed last year to do these things slightly more efficiently. So you'll see some of those, and you'll probably see me forget how to use them as well. So I look forward to that. So this first challenge, there's a bit of sort of stuff at the beginning, which I'm not going to pay much attention to. I'm sure these links are all very hilarious. Not to be too cynical about it, it's charming. We have this sort of board here, and each line represents a calibration value. First thing I noticed reading this is it's got that effect I've noticed when you read and if there's a certain percentage of the things you have no idea what they are, your brain just does nothing with it. You've got to break it down. So calibration value, important to note, when you're reading this, you've no idea what this is, but it is a value, it is a number. On each line, the calibration value can be found by combining the first digit and the last digit in that order to form a 2-digit number. Now, if we work through this, we can see, okay, first 1 and 2, so 1 and 2, 3 and 8, here, 1 and 5 being the first and last here, and then the clever one, here the first and last digit is both 7, so first from the start, 7, first from the last, 7. You add them together, you get the right number. And of course, I've got my own puzzle input. Always worth looking at the puzzle input before you get too far in because it could be surprising. So let's take a look at that. Of course, it is very long, much longer. And that is kind of funny, isn't it? It's got words in it. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's not expecting us to parse the words, is it? I'm getting a second step feeling from this. I'm getting a second step feeling for this. I think in the second step, we might possibly need to parse the numbers that are words as well. And hopefully they're only digits. All right. Well, that would be a fun second step, wouldn't it? But let's not get ourselves too muddled up with that yet. Okay. Let me shift over to my Excalibur drawer and we can you know, it's these things can be slightly dangerous because it's tempting to suspect the answer is obvious, and possibly it is, but just worth. Come on, why does it always do that? Just worth paying a bit of extra attention to it. Okay, so the task is, so I had a whole process of built up by the end for doing these, which I've now mostly forgotten. But oh, sorry, but I do know that I would try and solve it as a sort of by hand first time. I would try and extract two things from that. The important state that we need to keep track of, which I would design as essentially a class, but it wouldn't really be a class because it doesn't have really no methods, or it might do not necessarily, and then some methods or some functions which would do the processing, and I would have a sense of what those were and how they would be combined, and then I would come up with a set of steps as to what I was going to build, so a plan of action, and then I would go and implement. So I'll probably do something like that here. So let's say we're doing this as by hand. And let's say we've got this first line. So we only know what is in here, so we can't just look at the line. So we've got to go through it in some order. We probably want to go from, if we want to get the first one, so the first digit, the answer is possibly trivial. We start at the front and we move along until we find a digit. So here we found 1, so we take that. Then here we go here, okay, not a digit, not a digit, not a digit, digit, okay, 3, fine. And then if we want to take the last one, in theory, we start from the end. Now we could go all the way through from the start. Let me just check the length of these. The length is not dramatically long. Where is it? Yeah. We could go through from the start and just count the last one, which would also work. So, we just keep track of in a variable of the last one we see, and when we get to the end, we take that last one. That would also work. We need to make sure that we tracked the last digit each time. Fine, yeah, we could do that. Or we could go from the end. So we could iterate once from the start and then short circuit once we got the digit, and then once from the end and short circuit once we got the digit, and that would make it in principle faster because we would not then have to iterate over the middle, but not that much faster because the lines aren't that long. Now, what I'm thinking ahead slightly on is that numbers as words problem, which would that be easier if we just iterate through from the start? I don't think it would be meaningfully easier at all, because really we just need to, we still need to have like something which is a is digit function. And yeah, there's no downside to iterating back from the end or from the start when you're doing that, really. Yeah, so I think we can take that efficiency, and it's also, I mean, I don't think it's in any degree harder to process, really. One thing that I don't really want to look too far ahead to the second step, but one thing I might do is look forward slightly and have an is digit function Okay. All right. So in terms of the algorithm, what are we looking at? So it's like for each line, chart from start. If so, then for each. Okay, do they always have a digit in them? Yeah, let's assume they do. For each chart from the end, is it a digit? So it's a digit. Oh yeah, and we can short circuit this point. By which I mean stop executing the loop. Okay. And then line digits. Convert to integer, and then we've got our result. Add all, what is it? Calibration values. Okay, so let's execute this. 1, 2, 3, 8, 1, 5, 7, 7, and yeah, we get the right result. Don't need to gold plate it. Okay, and then we get our result, and that's step 1, right? So state is going to be I probably don't need any meaningful state here. I could probably do it without. My functions are just thinking ahead to step 2 potentially. Is digit at point line x. Okay, I think that's it. Come on. What is wrong with my keyboard? just done, are you? Oh, yeah. No, it's just not. Okay. Okay, great. So plan of action is one. Worked out last year. It's good to start with the small functions and add them up. So I'm doing that this year. Okay. All right. I think we're good to start. Okay, time to switch to my editor then. See if I can remember how to use Python. Okay, this over here and this over here. I don't want that. Okay. Great. Okay, so this you'll see how I use this um, window bit as well. All right. Then we're good to go, which means I can reset the timer. In fact, you know what I'm going to do first? I'm going to add my input into the input section and the trial into the trial section. Here we go. Bring that back up. Great. Okay, all right, I think we're ready to go. Set the timer and open up my plan. Okay. This is digital point. Already off to a bad start. Okay. Line X. See, I've got Copilot turned off. Okay. One. Yeah, so this should be true. All right. Check this. Okay, day one, part one. Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Hmm. How do you check? How do you check? Is digit is an is digit method in Python. Okay. X digit. Does this work? Oh, actually, that's not right. Okay, that's good. Okay, great. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. True. Okay, great. All right, that's that bit done. Hmm. So yeah, how to do this part. That was terrible. Terrible. I'm so out of practice. Yep. Okay. Let me check whether this is actually working at all. I think it is. Great. All right, now find last digit. Got a special function hrange, which helps me avoid off by one errors. But I don't think it goes backwards, actually. Let me not rely on that till I've worked that out. Let me try it. Let's try it. Okay, so it doesn't work going backwards. That's why. All right. Hmm. Why not actually calling it? That's weird. Oh dear. Okay, so this should be 2 and this should be 8. Okay, and that is working. try some odd ones. Okay, so we're not going back far enough. That's good. We've already got one at the end. Okay, fine. Great. I think that's good. Right, def make calibration value. I think it's int, which is this. Right. Yeah, that's good. Don't know why I even wrote that. Okay, now calculate. Okay, every line. Mm, let's actually put that off. And let's, yeah, I probably should have thought of this in my thing because that's how I used to do it. Okay, first digit. In fact, let's just return calibration value. Find first digit and last digit. Let's test that out. Should be 12. This should be 38, and this should be 11. Ah, no, it should be numbers. Okay, great. Right. Oh, sorry. Great, and then calibration values. Use. Oops. What did I do here? Oh yeah, every line's designed to work with state, isn't it? Okay, that's annoying. Okay. Let's just ignore that. Let's go with reading line by line. What should it be? 142. You're gonna have the prep calculator in there. Okay, good. Let's try the real one. Let's try it in the machine. Okay, 1312. Great, 1312. Let me write that down. So that's platinum. Gosh, I'm so out of practice, both with using this framework and also with uh Python in general. I think I'm trying to remember how I did everything last year, but of course most of the work I did last year was on the later challenges, so I'm probably spending much too much time breaking stuff down. Still, I guess it will help me scale up to the difficult challenges later. All right, let's look at part two. Your calculation isn't quite right. Looks like, oh yeah, okay, right. What a surprise. It looks like some of the digits are actually spelled out with letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 9 also count as valid digits, but 0 does not. Is there a 0? No. Okay, fine. Equipped with this new information, you now need to find the real first and last digit on each line. For example, we've got a new trial. That's kind of annoying. Oh, it'd be too obvious, right? Yep. Okay, fine. So if we want to do this one, which of course we do, then really the rest of the code stays the same, I think, except for the is digit at point function, which I've helpfully looked ahead and considered, which now needs to change its logic. We now need to look at that point in the string for one of a number of digits, like in words rather, or numbers. So everything else in theory stays the same. So what I want to do is, well, I can just do this with a big case switch, right? Or big if, else if, etc. And yeah, that's probably the most straightforward way to do it. Or I could try and be clever and like have a list of the words and substring on the length. More likely if we're off by one errors there. I think I'll probably try it with the crude approach first, and then if I've got loads of time left, I'll try it. No, in fact, the whole point is to not spend loads of time on it. So I'll do it the crude way, and then maybe if I feel like it, I'll do the fancy way. Okay, so make is no, it's really like factor. No, not refactor. Change is digit at point That's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Let me change my screen back here. All right. Reset the timer. In fact, before I do that, trial two. Add in there. Okay, now reset the timer and let's get started. This should be wave one. My phone is ringing. Ignore that. Okay, and I want to get this running as well. Fine. That doesn't really matter. I guess some of the ones don't have digits in them. Okay. Is digit at point? So now I'm going to say let's stop this actually. And let's add a test. For this line here. Now this, if we put 0 should be true. If we put 1 should be false. 2 should be false. 3 should be true. Four should be true. 5 should be false. 6 should be false. 7 should be false. 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Should work, and these should start failing. Great. Okay. So if well, let's start with 1. And this, if we have this be 1 and then 3, what do we get? Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3. Fine, so it's fine. It's like that. Let's hit the spacing there. Okay, let's have this here. Okay, that is 5 long. 4 long. No, don't get clever, or not clever rather. Okay, this 6, it's 3, 7 is 5. 8 is 5. 9 is 4. Okay, we're doing all right there. Let's try some more complicated ones. This is 1, it should be true. Okay, we'll take that for now. Well, in theory, it should work, right? Oh, got to still change. See, I should have thought of this. I've got to still change. I didn't think it through. I was too. I overcorrected. I'm too sloppy still. Okay, fine. So what I've just noticed is, obviously, if I'm extracting the digit, I'm going to need to change what this is returning. We need to turn the index here. It's not a disaster. Turn the index here. Now these tests will fail. Let me do this one by one. Okay. All right. This should be 0. This should be 3. Now this should be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This should be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This should be 0. Okay, and making the calibration value, or actually, now what I could do is if I back this out, and instead of returning the char, no, let's not back that up. Let's make number here. Give that the line. And then we can have a make number here. And the digit is 0. Okay, fine. This should be 2. 0, 1, 2, 3, 1. And then 4 should be 9. Okay. So this is going to be ugly, but it's probably the quickest way. Hmm. Okay, that's working. 2, 8, 1. Great. Now let's try the real one. Real result should be that. All right, let's find out. The truth. All right, that was 9:28, but slightly before. Gosh, the sun's really coming in. All right, let me fix that. Before I wrap up. Okay, so that double platinum, but kind of some silly mistakes here. Let me switch back to my code. Okay, so first mistake was maybe, well, I don't know if it's a mistake. Probably I could have gold plated this a little less. It's just a habit because you never know when you're going to need this sort of stuff in these challenges because they are sort of, unlike real programming, they are kind of designed to trick you. So this process forced me to break things down, but it is slower than just going out and doing it probably. And then this one, I missed some cascading changes that I would need to make to my function signatures and their results. So I needed to kind of make some hacky changes. The sort of changes that at this point in the challenge are not particularly damaging, but if I keep making these kind of mistakes, they're going to eat loads of time later on. In particular, is digit at point? I made the assumption is digit at point. It was the only thing that needed to change. But actually, of course, this needs to change because this was relying on a single digit char, a single char digit. And actually now we were dealing with something quite different. So I need to shoehorn in some stuff here. So probably worth, if I think in the future, I only need to change one thing, just looking through the code and picking out, okay, what if this, what if this, what if this? That probably would have helped me a little bit there to be a bit more efficient. But double platinum, gonna take it. See you tomorrow.